in that virtual reality space as well. So if you have a head mounted display, or you've got the Oculus that's not mounted and it's just within the headset, you can enter into a Mozilla Hubs room. You can also use your phone. I think that's really cool too. You can go in on your phone, you can use your tablet, you can use a laptop, you can use a PC. So while it's accessible on lots of devices, I just want to make a note here, because accessible on devices doesn't necessarily mean it's accessible for students. Mozilla Hubs is a great platform. They have a learning lab. It's an open resource, and they do have, as far as I could see, the ability to use a screen reader. But if you've got a student with a visual accommodation that's needed, same thing if you were using VR, you'd want to maybe look at how you'd walk them through the different rooms and make sure that they could utilize it. So I wanted to just say that while it's accessible on multiple devices, that doesn't always mean the students like it. However, good news is no software installation, no sign-in required, especially for students. If you want to make a room and you want to change the settings, I'll probably have you sign in today, but you don't necessarily need to join a room or experience Mozilla Hubs. So that's really easy. There are also multiple ways to interact on this platform. So you've got the ability to voice chat. You can have text messages, emojis. As faculty, I could share my screen or presentation. Students can share their screen or presentations. Any participants could. You've got the ability to check and look into 3D objects, bring them in through Mozilla Hubs. You can also import them through another platform. You can draw. You can use an annotation device. You can also upload PDFs, videos, course materials, websites. You can kind of put those into rooms. This is what would be considered a MOVE, a multi-user virtual environment. When I've chatted to non-technology people about that, including my husband, he was like, what does that mean, this multiple user virtual environment? I don't know how many people here have used or ever gone to Second Life. This would be sort of a computer social environment. If you have, feel free to use a reaction or emoji and let us know you know what that is. But if Second Life, okay, cool. Some people have used it. If you've used Second Life before, you're an avatar and you're able to walk into a virtual or imaginary world, and you're able to be that person, engage in chat, meet others. So you do have an avatar. So it's kind of like Second Life, but it's almost too as if like Zoom and Second Life, if they were to get together, a video conferencing and Second Life got together, they would have a love child that might be Mozilla Hubs. So that's something that I've used before. Mozilla Hubs, Firefox, it's an actual platform. Mozilla Hubs is looking at, as I've mentioned, learning, and they have some learning labs that are and projects that I think are worth checking out. But this is an open source and free platform. So why would you use this? And I've seen this come up a lot actually when I've gone to conferences. We have Zoom, we have Canvas or a learning management system, we have the pieces in place we need to teach. And I think that this can be used as an additional learning platform. So if students are Zoom fatigued, instead of sending them to a breakout room, maybe you're giving them a Mozilla Hubs room. I think it provides this immersive environment. Again, people can join in all kinds of ways. Could be good for group work. You can motivate, engage, and even create a memory with learners when they are in these immersive environments. So I also find Mozilla Hubs helpful for if I wanted to make a classroom and I wanted to have websites and resources or videos or have a moment or an activity, you can actually have and embed your PDFs, your presentations, links that you want them to go to, multimedia. It could be used for a formative assessment. The ability of Hubs is something super creative, where Hubs has Spoke. another free software, another free platform where you can go and you can actually upload your own 360-degree videos and experiences and make your own virtual learning environment that's really tailored to your class. So I learned about this. There was a fantastic language faculty from Princeton who was teaching Korean to his students and wanted to give them a sense of what it's like in Korea. And he went and grabbed videos and ended up making an immersive environment where students could walk through a market, click on videos, and have experiences. So the other option that you could do is, I've worked with students who have made incredible things. I'd love for them to showcase what they're learning to me. So I think actually Hubs could be a platform that you offer for students to showcase or to show you what they've gotten out of the lessons, assignments, or class. My last piece here, technology and pedagogy. Make it work for you. And we're in the pandemic still, and I see Hubs having the possibility to be utilized in other ways, especially if we go into shutdown again. This is how I first got into it, is students came to me and said, I want a virtual space where we can connect. And we made a room, but I have to say, the time that it does take some time to make these. And so some of the rooms I'll show you took about 4 hours. Another one took about 10 hours. There's a time and an investment. So if this works for you, if you have your own pedagogy, you have an assignment, something that you think this could really work for you, I would say go for it. If not, put it on the back burner. I think we all have the tools and enough technology. So while I'm showcasing, this is something that I really enjoyed, and working with students, that was really fun. I'll let you be the judge, make it work for you. Have a student create it if that is easier. So I'm going to show a quick video. Is there a limit on number of rooms you can create for free? No limit, Natasha, no limit at all. You can make as many rooms as you would like. There is a limit of number of participants. So 48 participants per room. I'll show this video really quick. This is how you would interact in a Hubs room. This was made by one of our students, the Technology Center.
Mozilla Hubs is a fun, interactive platform used to make a virtual space that allows participants to interact with each other's avatars, create and move around objects, upload media, and more in a virtual environment. Mozilla Hubs is an open-source web application that is VR compatible and accessible in 2D on computers or tablets on every browser and mobile device. It isn't just an alternative to Zoom, as this platform allows you to customize a virtual space. We started using Mozilla Hubs to transform COLTT's physical space in the Hive, the hub for information and vibrant expression, a space for CU Boulder's language learning and teaching community. Here is an example of a customized space, COLTT's virtual Hive. In this space, students can meet with one another using their avatars and microphones, or even study another language together. Mozilla Hubs' features make it a phenomenal tool for language learning and teaching. You can find Mozilla Hubs by typing hubs.mozilla.com into your address bar. Here, you can create a free account using your email address, then follow the instructions. Once you're done, return to Mozilla Hubs' homepage. Just a note, to join a room, you don't need an account, just a URL. After signing in, click the Create Room button. Here you'll be brought to your own personal room. In order to move around the space, you have two options. You can either use your W, A, S, and D keys to move your avatar around, or click and hold the right-click button on your mouse in order to teleport. Additionally, you can click and drag with your left click on your mouse to look around. Mozilla Hubs provides you with your own malleable room, which you can customize by placing your own 3D objects, images, and other media. This makes Hubs great for anyone who wants to connect with others remotely in a shared virtual space. We hope to see you here on Mozilla Hubs at COLTT's Virtual Hive. In order to find the room, check out altech.colorado.edu under the Hive tab. See you soon.
Okay, so now what I'm hoping we could do is to go explore a little bit. We have, let's see, 33 people. I think I'm going to show you a faculty room really quick and how to navigate some of that. And then I will probably send you into the Hive, the virtual space that you just saw. So one thing I would like to do is share out for you guys. Let me stop share for a second. And in the chat, I'm going to put a link to some instructions that you can have for later. Hopefully that will give you guys a chance to go and see the spaces. Offhand, is there anything that you guys saw? Feel free to put in the chat anything you were like, oh, that was cool. That appeared. That's something I think I want to have. Feel free to keep thinking about it. Here are some instructions for you that we will be utilizing later. And then I'm going to go ahead and share screen again. And hopefully you guys can see that. Yep. Let me know if you can't. Perfect. Art gallery style. That's right. So in one of those, I was showing you guys a picture of Barcelona, and we have Catalan. We have faculty that are working with Catalan. So let me go ahead and join the room. This is the first thing that you guys will do. I'm going to share a different link for you guys in a minute, but what I want you to do is you can enter on a virtual reality device. You can also spectate. So for this purpose, we're going to go ahead and enter the room. I am going to give it, allow it to test my microphone. Looks like it's working great. You can enter the room. Thanks, Holly, for sending out those instructions. I thought I shared with everyone, and she's good like that. So here's a room of a faculty showcase. So this was an introduction to Catalan language class. And you can see what I'm using right now is I'm using my trackpad on my mouse to be able to turn. I'm also able to go up and down that way, and I can utilize the arrow keys to move forward. So here's a space where if I were to go in, I can add my own maps. I can add my own videos.
So me and my mom are patient. It might give you a little bit more of an insight as to how soon it's going to be. Catalonia has long been the industrial maritime heartland for Spain.
So you can put videos in there, give a little options for students. And I can play around with going all the way to the back. Yeah, this is kind of like an art gallery exhibit. Again, you know, there's more videos. You can put things on it you find from YouTube. You can link. You can make it interactive. The other thing that I wanted to notice in this space is the ability to share. So I can share my screen. I can share my presentation notes. I can also share my camera. And it actually, I can come into the room. So this is where I'm like, it's kind of like Zoom, plus you have an avatar. The other thing that you, if you want to see what I look like, I can actually take a picture of myself in here. And then you can see my avatar, because right now you can't really see. So I'm a robot. You probably can't see right here. There I am. If I look down, it's always hard to be self-aware in these spaces. In order to get rid of anything, you can click your space bar and delete it. In the space, I want you guys to go and actually experience it, right? Can multiple people participate in the creation and design of the space collaboratively? You can, but one person needs to be the owner. One person needs to be the owner. I absolutely worked with my students to create the design of this. We'd have an asset page. We would plan it out, but one person needs to be able to own that, and I can explain that later. You've got the ability to write in the space, to circle, to highlight. Hi, it's kind of hard. I'm not a very good, you know, it's almost like Blackboard quality of hi. You've also got the ability to add a GIF or an image here, which I absolutely could. Come up, make an angry cat. put a photo in the middle of it. So let me take away my pen control so I can actually move it then. Again, you can get rid of any of this. Delete it that way. I can also go up here and delete it in certain ways. Placing objects 3D model is probably one of my favorite. I have a hummingbird. If I want to pin it and I want it to be stationary, I could do that. If I want to make it larger, smaller, I could do that. Again, spacebar is really fun. I'll let you guys play around. I can add an avatar and I can change the scene. I can upload. And so that's a lot of times where you've uploaded texts and upload instructions. So I can look in here and I could upload different reports, Mozilla Hubs. I think I've got hands-on Zoom, PDF can be in here. Create object. Now I've got my PDF. I could pin it to the wall if I wanted to. I can leave it in this space. When students leave, the objects they put in will leave. If you are the owner of the space and you've pinned it there, the objects can stay. So that's kind of fun too. Reactions, you've got all kind of ability to react in here. I can chat. So no one's in this room, but if someone were in the room, I can say hi to everyone. I can leave the room here. And also as a creator, there's a lot of different settings that I can do as far as for changing my name and avatar. So maybe I'm not really feeling this avatar. I've actually used GIFs before. They're really fun to have avatar GIFs. But if you want to, newest featured space person. So that's where I can change the avatar right in here. Sorry, I don't know why I didn't do that. You can also create your avatar. There's other websites and I can let you know about that, but there's other, there, now I can accept it. There's other websites. Ready Player Me is one of those where you can make your own avatar. And I think it's really fun. So students can't leave something in the room themselves. The owner has to pin it. Yes, unless, well, I'm going to take that back, Natasha. If you create a room and you allow the participants, you can give them the ability to do that. So I will show you that when we do the walkthrough. I will actually go in and give you guys how to create the settings to make the room. But for now, I kind of want you to go and experience the room. So we are at 2:24. I am going to go ahead and send to everyone a link to the virtual hive. And I would like you guys to go and click on that link, come back to the Zoom area when you do it. And I would like you to change your avatar, bring in a 3D object, and play with the tools. I think we have not too many people in there. So I'm going to stop sharing for a second and invite you guys to go into that link and see what it looks like. And I'll meet you in there. There is spatial audio, so be aware of that as you get closer to people and farther back.
Karen, if you are talking in the Zoom, you are muted, just to let you know.
Okay, hopefully you guys are talking and connecting in there. If you haven't been able to put it a 3D object or take a picture of yourself or explore the space, do that. You've got about 1 minute left, and then I'll bring you guys back into here. Sure, I'll share screen. Absolutely. So I'll go back in one more time. It takes a while to load. This is what happens when you have a lot of people in there and a lot of objects that were pinned ahead of time. If you had a typical class, it should not take that long, especially for, we've played around with this for 20 people. So I see it's still loading, entering the room. So I can kind of see who's still in there. We've got 23 people in the room. I'm gonna have you guys come back into Zoom so that way I don't have an audio issue. Perfect. And I'm gonna pop out for now, just because what I'd like to do is have you guys refer to this actual sheet. And I would like you guys to go to Mozilla Hubs and start a room. So let me know when you guys are ready to go. Give me a ready in the chat when you feel like you're ready to make your own room. Awesome. Joan's ready. Dave is ready. Rob's ready. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you guys. Thanks for the participation. It's so hard when you're on multiple platforms and can't see faces. So what's helpful for me, I don't know if you've noticed, I actually closed my browser for that hub room, the virtual one. The reason why, and I can share the link with you guys again, so you can always go back to it, but just because I don't want my computer to run really slow as I'm on Zoom and creating everything. So I went ahead and closed it. If that's okay for you guys, that might be good. Otherwise, I mean, it could take a little longer if you've got 2 rooms open to make a room. So the first thing I would like you guys to do is, you don't have to do this, but you absolutely can create a room without signing in. I recommend signing in. I use my colorado.edu. They're going to ask you to verify your email, so that could take a minute. So, oh good, Joan used a different browser. That's smart. So I would recommend signing in. It does not take that long to sign in. What happens is when you actually sign in onto Hubs, that's going to give you a chance to be able to go back and save that room. So hopefully you guys have got that going on and you're able to make it. Again, I kind of want to get a sense of where you're at. So give me a ready when you feel like you've got your own space where you were able to sign in. Should only take a second. Perfect. It's a good group. Yeah, thank you. Adriana's signing in. I'll give it a little chance. While that's happening, I'm going to go ahead and show some rooms because perfect. It's quite easy to create the room. So the first thing you would do is you would create the room. And I will say this, as you're signing in, you've got the option to just follow along and do this later. So I've given you the instructions. If it's easier for you as a learner to just watch what's happening versus follow along on a separate screen, I really want you to do what works for you. So feel free to just watch if signing in is too much. So the first thing is I could actually join the room, but I don't like this room. I've just been in this room. This is the same room that I got to see from before. So the first thing I like to do actually is name my room. The link to create your own room, sure. The link to create your own room, I'll put that in there, is you would just go to Mozilla Hubs. Let me put this to everyone. That is where you'd go. You have the option to change here and to change the scene right now. I'm just gonna name it for myself. Karen's room. My 10-year-old and I did this. We also have used it before with his friends and it's really fun, so. We can also change the room description here. So you're welcome to change the description. It could be just for fun. You can say, no, this is going to be a simulation, a student collaboration space, a class resource, an immersive experience in science, whatever you'd like. And this is kind of nice. You can change the room size. So it goes up to 50. The room that you guys were just in was up to 50. You can adjust it and make it smaller for your class. You can have it all the way down to the number that you want. You also can share the link or you can invite only. And I think that's kind of interesting too. You can email and have the invite here. The share link is something I feel is fine. It's pretty unique enough that I don't see it getting in the way. I don't see a lot of, I've never seen a Hubs bomber, like a Zoom bomber, even though I might be considered one because I'm always jumping into other universities' Hubs room. So I think it's pretty locked down and secure with that. This is where you want to have permission. So someone had asked earlier, can I have someone pin an object and stay there? Yeah, if you've got that. I could also, I'm the one that can pin I can pin and say no one else can pin, so it always goes away. You can choose whether it's creating cameras, whether participants can create move objects. Maybe you want things to just be as they are. If you want them to draw, emoji, and allow flying. I forgot to mention this. When you go in your room, if you want to fly, you go Shift G. I didn't mention this because I've flown away and gotten lost before. But yeah, these are the kind of the main room settings. And you can apply that, but actually I want to change the scene. This is my favorite part. This is where I could probably spend, you know, yes, you can't, Rob is
you can
correct.
talk, I'm muted. Yeah.
Okay. Rob is correct. You can't access the settings without signing in. That's why you want to sign in. So I can pick that I want to do that gallery, an outdoor meetup, a holiday party. They actually have a school room. These are preset. There's nothing that you need to do for this. You can change and adapt any of these scenes. I think it's super fun and interesting. So I can go into space, houseboat, and maybe for now in this particular one, I'll just go ahead and take you to an outdoor festival. And then at this point, I would go ahead and apply those changes. And then I can join the room here. So here's something again, where as I've come in, if I want to share this out, I really could copy and paste this URL. I could put it in the chat and you guys could all come into my room. I can now come into this space and I can start adding a few things that I wanted to add. Again, if I ever needed to go to the settings, I can go into here and I can change my name, my avatar. I can have my own favorite rooms. I can change the room info and settings at any time. If I'm like, you know what, the spring fair is not really what I want for this. I can also go in here and I can delete things. I don't know if you can hear that this has got noises. Yeah, if I'm not really feeling that, I can delete it. Like this is my, well, I guess it won't let me do it now, but it will let you delete things where you're able to go and to manipulate some of these pieces. Just because I put them in, I should be able to take out. And this again is where you can kind of come in, place, add 3D models and upload information and customize it. One thing that you can do is if you don't like something, so let's say I'm going to go ahead and upload or create an object in here. And I'm going to upload, one of my son's JPEGs. It's good for you guys to play around again with the objects themselves. I can turn them. I can manipulate different things, and I can also delete. You would press spacebar. And that's how you can move things in and out. If I don't like the space again, I can go to info, change the scenes. So I recommend playing around with a few of these. And then you can kind of see what works for you in these spaces. One thing I wanted to talk about with Mozilla Hubs, and this is, it's worth mentioning, I think, that Mozilla Hubs has something called Spoke. So again, it's free and you can make your own project. And if you've signed in, this is something where if you are really interested in creating a space with multimedia and putting in your videos and presentations, this is something that you can absolutely go into and play with For me personally, is it worth my time and energy? No, I've got students that love to play around with this and make virtual spaces. And so they've made a student collab room themselves. Spoke, you can absolutely, once you have projects, you could just create a new project. And you're able to go to all the preloaded spaces that we've just seen, where you can actually go into spaces and add things from here. This would be quite interesting if you're like, some of these don't quite meet my needs. And what I really want to do is I want to have a learning experience like this. So this is advanced for me. This is something I think is awesome. But, I'd watched some videos and I've played around with this and I have fun with, where the lightings go. But again, how much time and energy do you want to spend with this tool? And for me, I've been able to see some fantastic experiences. I've seen people that, again, from Princeton and Harvard, libraries have started to use these spaces and putting in their resources and links to other websites. I've seen humanitarian projects where you are able to show up at the beach and go into the beach and experience what it's like to be a refugee and have a 360 degree camera. So you can actually kind of experience it and put those immersive experiences in here. And so for me, looking at Unity or building in virtual reality spaces is tough, but this is actually somewhat accessible. So we've got some questions here. What if you try to upload something from Sketchfab and it says the link is broken? Good question. So when you've got the 3D models here, Sketchfab has a few things that they're moving away with. They used to have Google Poly came in here. So if something's broken in there, I would say it's probably because they're in the transition and it should be something that's coming in. Sketchfab's models are getting bigger and better, which I think is fantastic. Animals, I search too, and sometimes if I don't like one, I try a different one, Joan. So, if I'm looking for, there's so much with cats, right? But if I'm looking for a specific cat, sometimes I like the ones that move, sometimes they don't. So it's really up to you and finding what works for you. They do have the ability also where you're able to upload your own files. And so, you can make your own. TinyCAD has its own 3D modeling. And so if you are able and have done 3D modeling, you absolutely can import your own. I think it's about how much you want to get creative. So we've got a few minutes. Yeah, Tinkercad is another good one. Thanks, Dan. Thanks for sharing that. So I'm hoping that you guys got a little taste of Mozilla Hubs. I would love to, stop share for a moment and, does anyone have any ideas for how Mozilla Hubs could be utilized in your class, in your course, in your area, department, at your university? Any ideas for that? Feel free to throw it into the chat. Student orientation. Yeah, that would be super fun to go in there and make a social place, right? A chat place. 3D model interactions specific to anatomy. Yeah, scenarios, virtual reality, immersive experiences have been looked at as scenarios. Language faculty, we looked at this, like, could we have a marketplace and actually buy things in other languages so it feels more real? Dan says, I teach speech. Virtual auditorium where students could be on stage. Excellent. Nice to orient them to campus when they're not here in person. Yeah, hubs, you could have your own departments come in and it feels better. Business communication, a conference, students present on a topic. Yeah, I've seen student projects being presented where they've really been able to use Mozilla Hubs and put their research, poster sessions, put multimedia and videos. So that's absolutely right. You really could have a conference hall poster session out of it. So Joy Wagner says, I teach design and architecture. A lot of ways to use the software. Great. Yeah, and again, I love technology. It can be so engaging. It can be time consuming. But when you have things like this that have so many different elements, and to be able to think about this in ways that, how would you utilize it in your course, in your department? How could you make it work for you? An immersive virtual commencement. That's right. Absolutely. Yeah, art galleries have been done. If I challenge you to find good places, I snoop around on Mozilla Hubs and I'm kind of looking at, Harvard's library. Library is starting to take off, having connection spaces on campuses. So awesome. Does anyone want to share a room they've been playing around with? I know that's a brave one to ask. Is there anyone that's actually played around and they've decided, hey, I want to explain what I did or show what I did? I know that puts people on the spot. If not, I won't push it. I'm hoping that you guys got something out of this session and that you will be able to explore and create. I would love to hear what you guys are doing. Yeah, you could spend hours prepping a room here. That's absolutely right, Ryan. In fact, one of the language faculty that I worked with, they said, this is my tool. This is something that I get really sucked into making because it feels so satisfying afterwards. I have my videos there. Something else I just wanted to share. Yeah, it's better than Zoom. Yeah, it is, Zoom has its place. And so I will say Mozilla Hubs, I've had times I've gone in and, links might not work like I want them to. So every technology has its thing. But as far as engagement and maybe having a unique way for students to get involved, I think this is good. So I just wanted to share, this is Mozilla Labs. This is the laboratory. They have a lot where they've got hubs, of course, but if you haven't participated in some of their open resources, I encourage you. I've done Common Voice, where you're able to help them project things, WebXR Viewer, and of course, we've covered Spoke a little bit. So as an educator, I think it's really fun to, Mozilla Hubs has not paid me to share this, but keeping in mind that there are resources out there and fun projects to get into. So yeah. Oh, David, you shared? Okay, David shared. Don't say it's lame, because if you've done this on the first, I'm gonna put it on my screen so we can go to it. Thank you, David, for being brave is what it is. So perfect. Yeah. So you can join the room and then play in here. So you guys went in here to do the Spring Festival. Perfect. Well, thank you guys for sharing. I appreciate that. Cool. Very nice that you're in there. So yeah, I see the broken link. This is the one thing that you'll have to worry about, not worry about, but as you've got links in there, that's awesome. Still really fun. So perfect. I really appreciate that. So I think that's good for me today. I would love for you guys to stay in touch if you've got other projects that have come up, if you're feeling like you'd love to make a Hubs room, but you just don't have time or energy for it. I'm happy for you to reach out and I can share some resources, some other rooms that we've made with students. So yeah, take care. Thank you guys for coming.